Hello guys, it's a new one and happy to see you once again. Today's topic I'm going to talk about the breathability allowance that you're supposed to give a business so that at least it can stand on its own before start to make what we call a profit. I always advise people, don't suffocate your business by taking a lot from it in terms of profit, all right? This is a new business that we've already established and is trying to learn the environment and to adjust to the environment so that at least it can make what we call a reliable profit. This is the high time you're supposed to support your business in terms of what we call the cash or anything related to that business for it to stand. Consider this fact that in any given scenario and case of a kid, you're supposed to start to support that kid with all the necessities so that that kid can reach to a point whereby it can be able to stand on themselves. This the same case applies when it comes to business. Don't suffocate it by draining a lot of it, or rather draining a lot from it in terms of profit. Because once you do this, I know maybe you keep on referring to the business plan that you had before starting up this business, but what you're supposed to understand is that not all the time that a business plan fits exactly to the business that you've already started. It's always good to consider the fact that sometimes it takes to a period of 3 to 6 months. This is a period that you give your business to make sure that at least it be able to learn the environment and be able to adjust to it appropriately. And that's the time you start to realize what you call a reliable profit. When I consider or when I refer to guys whom I've contacted or call or have a conversation with as far as the business are concerned, they tell me some of the business even take to a period of 2 years before they realize what we call a targeted profit. All I say in terms of business is always good to have what we call an outgoing heart, what we call having the guts to to withstand the heat, because you understand that business sometimes can be so discouraging. So I always discourage people taking a lot from it in terms of profits. But once you realize a certain profit, just take a snap of it, keep it to yourself, and large percentage of it pump back to the business well if it requires. And also you've considered some factors like, yeah, it is worth, giving it back to the business. All right. So it's always good to make sure that at least the decision you make from the preliminaries of your business augurs well with the business, because people make once you start the business, the problem I've seen with people is that they rush into you know getting that targeted profit. For example, if your business plan said that you're supposed to make a profit of 2,000 at the end of the day, so you realize this person works so much or very much hard to make sure that at the end of the evening that individual grabs 2,000 from the business and goes back to the book where you have written the business plan and tick that today was successful, I've gotten my 2,000. It's not bad to do that, but once you get your 2,000, also have an eye back to the business and get to see where you need some area for an adjustment or something of sort. Because if you keep on taking a lot from it and you do not consider what we call the pampering the business, the supporting the business, you might suffocate it and the business can discourage you and it might fall. And that means you're risking your capital. And that's the thing that I'll never encourage people to do, because there is nothing humiliating or detrimental to someone's what we call the someone self than what we call blowing up your capital that you've taken your time to raise and starting that business. Remember, business, as much as you need business scale, it's more of a mental issue. You have to understand the psychology of business, because if you do not have the stable psychology as far as the business is concerned, you might throw up the towel and say, this is it, I'll never try a business again and it's not my thing. And you might never ever again have things to do with business, and that one can actually make you develop what we call a business trauma, and that is a very very serious problem. So a nutshell of what I've just said, let me recap what I've just said. It's always good to give your business a breathability allowance of 3 to 6 months. This is a period that you give your business to monitor it and get to see whether exactly it will fit your business plan. If you realize it is working towards fitting your business plan, that's a big thumb up. If you realize that it is really straining a lot to make sure that it reaches your target profit, then this is the high time you need to adjust a little bit as far as the business plan is concerned. If your target was 2,000 and then you realize the business is training around 1,500 or something of sort, then this might be the real profit that you're supposed to make in that specific business. So adjust to the situation and get to understand what it goes on, and give it appropriate help and support that it requires before you fully exploit the business in terms of profit. That is the most primary reason or the primary advice I would give any individual out there. If you would like to have any business advice, business conversation, something of sort, don't hesitate to to contact me, so that at least we can have a word for the for just a cup of coffee of 180 shillings. All right, that is not a charge, that is just a appreciation. All right, guys, so always consider talking to me if you would like to have any business a conversation or something of sort. All right, so also, if you love this kind of a content, this in this specific channel, I'll talk about personal finance and what I call the investment and saving and such kind of a thing. If this is the piece of meat that you love to get, then consider this home by subscribing to my channel, like the video, comment down below, because I'm a believer you have a point that you can raise and you have a thing that you have in your head. All right, also share me out with your friends within a capacity too. All right, see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. See you there.